Hey, so something I want to remind you about in this process is that everything you're going through, everything you're working on is a process. And it is a process that has to play itself out as you are building your business and you are stabilizing it. What can be challenging, along the journey is embracing the challenges in and of itself, and you embracing the reminder that you got to figure it out. Figuring it out is hard. It's not so much, hard work and labor that I'm referring to, but figuring out. What's hard is the figuring out process, right? Going through these cognitive processes and steps to come to a conclusion, to make decisions, to develop plans, activities that will get you to your end goal. And it can seem daunting. And in some cases, it might be. But what I have found to be very useful on my journey is remembering that there are others who have been through this, others who are going through this, and there are people who have navigated through what I'm navigating through and have done it successfully. And to hunker down, to embrace the hard, and to accept it for what it is, and to allow the journey and the process to play itself out, however it's going to play out. However it's going to turn out, it will. It will become what it's supposed to become. And that is part of it. There isn't a silver bullet. There isn't a 1, 2, 3 step result of all this. It is simply embracing the process for what it is and being okay with it and not fighting it. I think the more you fight it, the more you prevent yourself from moving forward. And what we're trying to do is move forward. What we're trying to do is to identify our pathway towards what's next. And when you embrace that and you get to the other side, whatever the other side is, what you may discover is that you were closer to the other side than you thought you were. What makes it feel far away are the emotions involved and the pain and the frustration and the anger and the disappointment, all created by expectations that you putting on yourself that you don't have to have on yourself. Expectations of where you should be, could be, what the business should be doing. And the reality is that might not be relevant for your journey, relevant for you, relevant for your business. So embrace the hard. Allow it to come. Allow it to educate you. Allow it to train you, and allow yourself to learn from it so you can pivot and move while in the midst of the hardness, because you will get to where you need to be at the time that you need to be at the right place. Yeah. So have you given much thought to what causes customers to buy from you and what causes them to feel connected to you? Have you realized the thing that makes shifts and changes in your customer experience that allows them to trust you and to want to continue to build a relationship with you? If you don't realize it yet, I want to give you the secret to it, and it's systems. It is the way that you get things done. It is the process by which you complete all the work that you have been hired to do. And the systems are essential. It's not about tech, and it's not about the apps you use, although those things absolutely help and they add value. But it is about the method, the philosophy, the way you do business that causes things to shift for your customers in a systemic way. And here's one of the kind of low-key secrets some people don't think about. And it's the fact that systems not only allow you to get things done consistently and efficiently, but it also allows you to intentionally customize outcomes, products, services for your customer. It is one of the low-key secrets that continues to pay dividends for folks that understand the power of implementing systems for your work and for your customer. Now, you may be asking, as a micro business owner, how do systems allow me to generate custom work products or custom widgets from a customer? When you're able to produce a baseline result that's consistent and predictable, when someone asks for something that's slightly different than a baseline result, the idea is you can produce the baseline result or the foundation of what is asked for, and then you can add a layer to it that makes it custom to the customer. It's almost like making a basic cupcake. But what makes it custom to the customer is perhaps the icing color, the icing flavoring, the additional toppings on top of the icing, the decorations, or the script on the cupcake itself. But regardless of what goes on top of the cupcake, and regardless of the quantity that is ordered, what doesn't change is the actual cupcake itself. It's the same chocolate or vanilla flavor or specialty flavor that you offer, and the customization comes in on top of the base layer product. For your product, for your service, it's the same way. Your ability to produce systems allows you to offer custom outcomes for your customer, and it improves your customer service because what your customer experiences is care and concern for what they bring to the table, or care and concern for what they bring as an issue. And your job is to listen, understand which of the systems you have in place that can respond to the need of the customer, and then add the layering, the toppings on that particular result so that it fits the exact need of the customer. The reality is when somebody hires you, they are hiring you for your system and for your process and for your outcome and for the way you do business. But there's this just extra little thing you do that makes it just right for that customer. And here's the beautiful thing: as a business owner, it doesn't add anything to you. It doesn't take away anything from you. In fact, it's much more lucrative, but also it's much more satisfying to know that you're able to meet the specific need of the customer. And all of this convergence of building systems and adding custom elements to it that allows your customer to feel wanted and understood and heard allows you to build a business that's ready to grow and to scale. Now, on a much more larger scale, we've talked about this in other videos. I'll continue to talk about this. When you're talking about scaling, we're talking about replicating what can be done on a regular basis for even more customers, or for fewer customers, but at a much more in-depth level. Regardless of what you decide to do, you're going to need a system to scale in either direction or in either vertical. And it makes it easier, more palatable for you to consider what it looks like to scale, to have the impact you're looking to have for the customer that you're looking to serve. I hope you find this helpful, because this is something that I have spent the majority of my entrepreneurial career working on. Coming up with an idea, testing the idea, and then systematizing the idea to make sure we can serve as many good customers as possible on a consistent basis to get consistent results for them and for us. Hey family, wanted to just record this for those of you who are still on the grind. This may be your night where you are wrapping up activities for the day and putting the kids down and trying to wrap up things around the house, and you are in grind mode. And I feel you. It happens, and it's part of the journey that all of us are part of, particularly when we are following a dream, a calling, purpose, and we're trying to follow through on that very thing. And I want to encourage you to continue to follow the process. Now, I mentioned that in the earlier segment, follow the process, but something I want to end this segment with, and that is be careful who you listen to, be careful who you talk to. Now, there are always people who I believe mean well. I really do. I think they mean well. I think that they have your best interest in heart. However, there are people that like to share things because of what they are observing. But here's the key distinction and challenge that you got to confront. And that is, are they sharing things because of their own projections and fears? And are they trying to place them on you because they don't know how to handle those things? Bro, sis, I can't stress enough the importance of being cautious of who you talk to and who you allow to feed your spirit and feed your mind and feed the information to you, because people, again, they mean well. However, they may not be giving you accurate information. And so I'm giving this particular guidance and thought to you because there are people who are going to share some thoughts with you because of real fears and concerns that they want to bring to your attention. In some cases, they're looking out for you because they love you and they know they want to see you succeed. However, because of their worldview and because of their perspective about life, and in the case of this channel, business and commerce and marketplace and ministry, they will project their fears on you. Now, I've been in situations, particularly in the early parts of my entrepreneurial career, where I was looking to get started, and I remember this was like my big moment to pull the trigger. I was early in my 20s, and I was traveling with some people I loved and trusted that cared about me. And as I was beginning to kind of get closer to where I was trying to get to, and where I was trying to accomplish, they shared some fears with me that they wanted to project upon me. And quite frankly, what made it worse was it wasn't their fears. It was actually fears that they heard from someone else. And here's the truth of the matter. It wasn't fears from someone else. It was actually just gripes this person had about the business that I was getting into, that this person, because they were just tired of it, was getting out of it. They didn't have the personality for it. They weren't built for it. It just wasn't attractive enough for them. And so they just shared stories with this person that I trusted. That person then internalized those fears and began to project them on me at a pivotal moment when I was looking ready to close the deal and close the transactions. Now, it took me another 6 to 9 months before I actually closed the transaction and pulled the trigger. But I never forgot what was said to me, and not because fear crept in. It was me thinking about the reality that I know you love me. I know you care about me. I know you want to see me succeed. However, the advice you're giving is terrible. It is terrible, and it is not relevant, and it is not coming from a first person point of view. You're giving advice and perspective from a person, and I knew the person that they got this perspective from. This person just didn't have the personality for what I was looking to get into, and they would not be a person I would talk to for advice either. So notice the chain of information and how information traveled from one person to the person I was having a conversation with to me. And that person's gripes and issues about the business that they were trying to get out of and sell was then conveyed to the person who loved me, and then they misconstrued information. And instead of sharing it as a way of, hey, this is information you want to look out for because I know that so-and-so experienced this, they gave me this advice and perspective and said, this is a reason why you shouldn't do it. Lo and behold, it was bad information, bad advice. I didn't follow their advice, follow through. And there were great experiences that I had, challenging ones per usual. With any business that you have, there's going to be challenging experiences. However, I learned a lot by not listening to a person who had no experience and who didn't have a business and who was always, I wish I could. I'm finna get going, and if I had $1 million, I would do this. It was coming from a person like that. So listen, you're up watching this segment. You're up early watching this segment. You're in the midday watching this segment, and you're trying to grind it through and figure it out and learn and study. I want you to think about the story I shared, and I want you to continue. Particularly if you are building a micro business, you're trying to grow it, stabilize it, and just prove to yourself that you got something that is worth building and keeping and sharing and with your customers. Don't stop. It's a process. All of us have been through it. We know what it feels like. We know what the journey is. I'm telling you, you're going to have to lock in. And we have this channel. We have these segments created because I want you to hear from me and other stories from entrepreneurs who have figured it out, who have, in air quotes, made it, who is making it, and give you the actual real of what it's like. That's why we're having this channel. That's why this channel has been created like this over all the years that we've been doing this. I I came to the conclusion that my goal is to tell the stories of entrepreneurs and remove the stigmatism and the boogeyman and the curtain and let you see you can do it too. You can. You got this. Keep grinding, stay focused, replay this, rewind this segment, rewind this entire episode so that you can stay encouraged, you can stay focused, and stay on the path that God has outlined for you in the business that you're building. Hope you find this helpful. See y'all next time.